What's going on, Chris? Big win.
Yeah, big win. Just, got to say hi to the family, made a couple phone calls to the family who wasn't able to make it, and, just ear to ear smiles.
Did anything about the fight tonight with Leo, did anything surprise you, man? Because it looked like you had a little bit rough time getting going, but once you did, man, it was all you.
Yeah, I mean, I've always had that problem right in the first maybe 30 seconds or so of wanting to, it's like you don't want to go in there and, slam on the gas pedal right away because everyone's both fresh. I've learned my mistake on one of my rematches and my first loss. So I try to kind of feel my opponent out. Not so much run away from him or anything, but I try to kind of judge my range before I start, slowly kind of putting the throttle on. And once I start feeling comfortable, then it's just like any other day of sparring. So I felt good.
And we talked it was about a week or so before the fight, man, we were talking, and, we talked a little bit about the loss to Lovato. Did that experience help you prepare for a guy like Leo that has a phenomenal jiu-jitsu background as well?
I mean, it definitely changed. Probably having that loss definitely changed my attitude going into this fight. Obviously you saw me in the fight where we got against the cage, and I rotated him and I put him against the cage. But and he really wasn't trying real hard to get off. He was putting a lot more effort than what Lovato was doing as far as getting off the cage himself. But I didn't want to I felt not content of winning those positions because against Lovato, I had him against the fence almost the entire fight. And I was just assuming that I was winning because I was controlling the ring, I was putting the pressure and, being more offensive. And when, the fight was over, obviously it didn't come out in my favor, it came out in his. So from here on out, for probably the rest of my career, even though I'm winning the position, getting him against the cage, I will always question if I'm even winning that exchange or not. I'll give it 10 seconds or so, throw a couple of knees, and then, either let go and go back and start over, or go for a takedown or something.
Well, you left little doubt tonight, man. I mean, you put phenomenal work in. We didn't get to hear your post-fight speech, so is there anybody that you'd like to have next?
I'm sure there's a long list already calling him out, but yeah, no, I'd like to fight Machida. I mean, he's in Bellator now, and he's a big name, and I've been fighting for a long time now. I'd like to really step it up and fight somebody that's well known and challenge myself.
First off, congratulations on a big win here, an impressive performance. You seem to be very comfortable on your feet here tonight, and very comfortable being aggressive on your feet. Fighting another grappler such as Leo, did you expect more of a stand-up fight or in the clinch?
I expected it to be quite a bit on the feet, just because I was planning on trying to keep it there, especially more on not even so much against the cage, but more on the open, on the striking. What caught me off guard is I figured he would throw bigger punches to try to tie me up in the middle of the cage, or even try to pull me to his guard, and then me having to continuously stand it up. That's what I was kind of anticipating after probably the first round. But I know he kind of really had too much of an answer. He was pulling my jab down pretty well, but a couple of enough jabs were sneaking through and landing, and I just think being a little younger and I feel like I was bigger. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. He obviously had a few inches on me, but I feel like I was the bigger athlete.
Yeah. So some interesting things going on in your division coming up, especially the Gegard Mousasi, Rory McDonald super fight. Mm-hmm. How do you see that fight playing out, and how would you like to face the winner of that somewhere down the line?
Oh, of course. I mean, I would like to fight the big fights. I mean, like I said, I've been training for about 7 years. I've been fighting, I think, in Bellator around for about 5. I just finished my first fight in my third contract, so I'm ready to put it out there, fight the big names, and really try to make those leaps. I mean, I feel like anytime I get close to the top, I take on a loss or something happens, I get sick, and then it's kind of like a setback. So I really would like to get to that next level and really put on some really good performances.
Would you like to get one more fight in before the year?
Yeah, I'd like to get my second fight in for a year. This is my first fight of the year. I would love to have a second fight.
Also, there's the welterweight tournament, of course, coming up. I know you're a middleweight and all. And would you be at all interested in maybe throwing your name in that hat for maybe?
I would fight 170. I fight at 85, and I mean, with the right opponent, I'll fight at 205 as well. I mean, at this moment, I'm a competitor. I want to compete. It's a little more. It's more nervous to come into a fight like this after an 8-month layoff of not fighting, especially after a loss, let alone a win. But just having these big breaks, it's like when you want to compete. I mean, I'm used to wrestling where you're competing on a weekly basis. Obviously, that's not possible in MMA, or at least anymore. But no, I mean, if I could fight 3, 4, 5 times a year, they just snowball into effect. That'd be ideal. But yeah, no. I figure if I can fight at 3 different weights, then I have 3 opportunities.
Yeah.
Before I let you,
I'm even ready to box too. I'll box the right opponent as well.
Before I let you out of here, did you see the Michael McDonald injury? Did you get a chance to see the replay?
I didn't. I was trying to run around, do this, that, and the other.
It was very gruesome. It was reminiscent of the Anderson Silva leg break from years back.
No way. Tonight?
Yeah, tonight. Very brutal.
It was like that. I saw the highlight of him getting carried off with a brace on. He snapped it, huh?
Terrible, yeah.
That's insane. I look forward. I feel sorry to him, but I would like to watch that footage. Was it just a nice check, or was it a bad kick?
I think McDonald hit Dantes with a shot, and he kind of like planted on his leg wrong and almost snapped itself.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't the actual kick that landed; it was the opposite.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Also, one more question. Fresno's becoming a really good fight town. I know a lot of your teammates were on this card, and there's some great fighters there at the Dethrone base camp over there.
Yeah.
Ed Ruth and them. Can you just give us a little insight about what it's like, sparring with the Ed Ruths and guys like that?
No, it's nice. Ed's, he came in a couple years after I started fighting, so it was nice because he'd come in and, his nickname's Easy Ed Ruth, or Easy Ed, so you only really got to, you do it to him a couple of times, he kind of figures out for himself, or if you just show him something one time, he kind of puts his own little twist on it, and he learns it pretty quickly. And I don't show him all my secrets anymore because I got to be able to do something to him. But yeah, no, it's good. It's good because when we spar, you got to go in there like you're going into a fight. I mean, there's no slouching. You get caught, hanging out. And people spar, sometimes they get kind of lazy and just go through the motions. But with myself and Ed, you just can't do that. I mean, we scrap.
Also, Josh Koscheck was one of the first real fighters to break out of that gym.
Yeah.
Do you still see him around at all now that he's done
He
fighting?
actually lives in North Carolina now. We keep in touch a little bit, but he's got his own gig going now. He's working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, just nose to the grind. So, that's the Edinburgh lifestyle, and that's one of the reasons why I was in Fresno. Actually, that is the biggest reason why I was in Fresno. Is we had the same college wrestling coach. We're both alumni at the same university. So was Ernest James. I know he had a disappointing loss tonight, but you can see that he has heart. He can take a punch.
How much sparring did you get in with Ernest here?
Me and Ernest were actually we were drill partners in college, but once I graduated, he got really, really strong and bigger, and then I cut down to 170, so I got small and skinny. So now that I'm up at middleweight, I've gotten a little bigger, so I can kind of go with him a little bit. We spar once a week maybe, but it's not the same. I mean, he's so strong, he can pick me up and slam me down whenever he wants, and so usually I try to keep it to where it's like the rules are, which we're only boxing, because he's just so big. I mean, he's 265. He'd throw me anywhere he wants.
All right, guys.